Okay, then at that point, the prosecutor leaps up. Objection, objection, this line of questioning must stop now. We can't go forward in this. And the judge didn't quite get it. She's like, well, why? And she's like, look, I'm here and you're here and you need to show me how we can work this out. And he kept arguing, and finally she said, let's stop the cross-examination. Our lawyer had at least another hour to go, he said. Send the jury home early so we can talk about all this. And that's what happened, and she said she was doing this in the interest of justice. And so the prosecutor kept arguing and said, look, they want to say someone else's DPR. And she's like, well, yeah, that's valid. I mean, what else do you do? That's what a defense does. And at that point, our attorney cited the Brady rule, which is a well-established law that says that any evidence in favor of the defendant cannot be hidden. And the judge agreed, it was Brady. And she went on to say that if the agent, Duryagan, pursued someone other than the defendant, it was highly relevant, and not only that, it was directly relevant. And how he arrived at that conclusion was obviously relevant. The fact that the agent believed there was probable cause to suspect him, clearly relevant. That the agent believed somebody else might be DPR, obviously highly relevant. And that an alternate suspect strikes me, her, being the judge, as in the heartland of the defense. And the fact that Karpeles could be a DPR had, quote, come out in spades. When the prosecutor continued to argue, she said, look, this Karpeles thing, the cat's out of the bag. Court's adjourned till next Tuesday. It was a long weekend. Well, we come back, and it was like I was in a different courtroom. Now we're playing by different rules. All those relevant things, now they were irrelevant. The jury was told to forget they ever heard it. The prosecution got a mulligan, and the judge flagged what should have been objected to and wasn't, so that it could be sustained. And very strict boundaries were set going forward as what the defense could ask. So, did you suspect Mark Karpeles? That was now off limits. Did you believe Mark Karpeles was DPR? Off limits. Do you suspect that Mark Karpeles operated Silk Road? Off limits. And that offer from the lawyer to provide DPR's name? Well, that's just not relevant. So here's day 3 versus day 4. What a difference a weekend makes. So the cat was back in the bag. And the reasoning, this alternate perpetrator thing, that just might confuse the jury. We don't want to do that. And our lawyer said, my whole cross-examination and defense is eviscerated. Or as Forbes' Sarah Jong wrote, completely derailed.